Well, our top story this afternoon, the Unique Identification Authority of India has announced a mandate making facial recognition compulsory for all authentications which require the Aadhaar card. The facial recognition will act as an additional layer of security along with regular authentication processes that identifies people using their fingerprints as well as iris scans. Now, sources say that failure to do so will be considered a criminal offence, and this measure comes even as the Supreme Court is yet to decide whether Aadhaar can be made mandatory in the first place for certain services at all. Now, the UIDAI in its defense is saying that this is going to prevent the possibility of cloning and further misuse of Aadhaar details, but critics say that this is going to further enable the hackers to get into the biometric system, to get personal details of citizens who have in fact shared the details, their personal details, including the facial recognition that is now being made mandatory by the UIDAI. Ritika Khera, who's a petitioner in the Aadhaar case that's underway in Supreme Court, joins us now on the phone line. Ritika, your thoughts on this move by the UIDAI?
So I'm not a petitioner. I have been one of the persons questioning this project. As far as the use of face recognition is concerned, I don't even know if it's practical, just starting from that, because the photographs that were captured at the time of enrolling for Aadhaar were very low resolution pictures. So I don't think that's going to work at all. And in any case, as lots of others have been saying, this idea that when the court is yet to rule on whether Aadhaar itself is a constitutional project and whether it can continue, let alone become compulsory for things like phones and rations, it is a little bit surprising why the government is so, ignoring the court orders repeatedly and with such impunity.
Rightly, Ritika, as you rightly mentioned, that even the hearing, even at a time when the hearing of the petition pertaining to Aadhaar is underway in the Supreme Court, and the top court has, clearly said, that at the moment there is no requirement, no compulsory requirement of the Aadhaar card. UIDAI is going ahead and adding another feature altogether. Now, do you believe that a facial recognition is really required at this point in time when the entire validity of Aadhaar card is under question at this point in time?
One keeps saying that Aadhaar is going to bring more security, but in fact the experience so far is it's bringing hardly any benefits, but in fact making people vulnerable to fraud. And it's a little bit surprising why it would not listen to all the warnings that are being issued to them. And instead of acting on that, they kind of go after these people, whether it's journalists or, ethical hackers or whatever you want to call them. So I do think that the concerns that we have been raising are genuine. I think there is now enough evidence out there. There have been about 164 reports, newspaper reports documenting fake Aadhaars or identity fraud that was enabled with the use of Aadhaar, and then bank accounts were, money was emptied out, etc. So I feel the government should exercise great caution in using this without any restraint.
Absolutely, and Aadhaar has become notorious for its security leaks as well. Personal information is available in the public domain, Ritika, and how UIDAI reacts to it is also quite surprising. Now, with the facial authentication feature adding to that, experts say that it is, if not more, an equally risky proposal that will enable hackers to, hack into these personal details even more easily.
See, I think the concern really is that we are leaving our digital footprint all over the place, whether it is Aadhaar or some other uses as well. And I think that now that we understand the dangers from this, all of these people should be restrained. Aadhaar, UIDAI on the one hand, but also firms, companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, etc. The fact that one is abusing our data and misusing our data should not become an excuse for other entities to also join the bandwagon. All of them need to be restrained. What is worrying in this instance is that the government, instead of acting in our favor and protecting us from such kind of abuses, is actually in a sense allowing such abuses to happen, in fact, even facilitating it by making it compulsory.
Absolutely. Ritika, Kira, thanks for joining in and sharing your views here.